Our planet Earth is an extraordinary place. It's a delicate web of life, interconnected and constantly changing. However, over the last century, we have witnessed a change unlike any other, a change that is impacting every corner of our planet: climate change. Climate change is not merely a shift in weather patterns. It is a fundamental alteration in Earth's climate system, driven by human activities. The primary driver of this change is the increase in greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. These gases act like a blanket around the Earth, trapping heat from the sun and warming the planet. While this natural process is essential for life, human activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels, have released an unprecedented amount of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, thickening this blanket and causing the Earth to warm at an alarming rate. This warming effect has far-reaching consequences, impacting not just our weather patterns, but also the delicate balance of nature. From the melting glaciers to the rising sea levels, the evidence of climate change is all around us. It is a stark reminder of our planet's fragility and the urgent need for action. We have a shared responsibility to understand the causes and consequences of climate change and to take meaningful steps to mitigate its impacts. The future of our planet, and indeed our own survival, depends on the choices we make today. Imagine Earth wrapped in a cozy blanket. This blanket, our atmosphere, traps some of the sun's warmth, keeping our planet habitable. This natural process is the greenhouse effect. Without it, Earth would be too cold for life as we know it. However, human activities like burning coal, oil, and gas are thickening this blanket. These actions release enormous amounts of greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide, into the atmosphere. These gases act like extra layers in our planet's blanket, trapping more heat and causing Earth's temperature to rise. This warming effect disrupts Earth's climate system, leading to a cascade of changes. It's like turning up the heat in a greenhouse. The delicate balance is thrown off, impacting everything inside. The consequences of this enhanced greenhouse effect are far-reaching, affecting weather patterns, sea levels, and the delicate balance of ecosystems. Understanding this process is crucial to grasping the urgency of addressing climate change. The natural world is sending us clear signals of a changing climate. Seasons are shifting, with warmer temperatures arriving earlier and lasting longer. Spring arrives earlier, throwing off the delicate timing of plant and animal life cycles. Weather patterns are becoming increasingly unpredictable. Extreme events like heat waves, droughts, and intense rainfall are becoming more frequent and severe. These events have devastating impacts on communities and ecosystems, leading to crop failures, water shortages, and increased risks of wildfires. The Arctic, once a frozen expanse, is warming at twice the rate of the rest of the planet. This warming is causing sea ice to melt at an alarming rate, contributing to rising sea levels and threatening the survival of iconic species like polar bears and walruses. These changes in nature are not isolated incidents. They are interconnected consequences of a warming planet. They serve as stark reminders of the urgent need to address climate change and its impacts. Climate change is disrupting the delicate balance of ecosystems around the world. Coral reefs, often called the rainforests of the sea, are highly sensitive to changes in water temperature. Warming waters cause coral bleaching, a process that can lead to the death of these vibrant ecosystems. Forests, vital carbon sinks that absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, are facing increasing threats from wildfires, droughts, and pest infestations, all exacerbated by climate change. These disturbances release massive amounts of carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere, further accelerating the warming cycle. The timing of natural events, such as the blooming of flowers and the migration of birds, is shifting as temperatures rise. These changes can disrupt the delicate balance of ecosystems, leading to mismatches between species that rely on each other for survival. The impacts of climate change on ecosystems are interconnected and far-reaching, threatening the biodiversity and resilience of our planet. Protecting and restoring these vital ecosystems is crucial to mitigating the effects of climate change and preserving the web of life on Earth. Section 5. The human cost, climate change, and our well-being. Climate change is not just an environmental issue, it is a profound threat to human health and well-being. Rising temperatures increase the frequency and intensity of heat waves, putting vulnerable populations, particularly the elderly and those with pre-existing health conditions, at risk of heat stroke and other heat-related illnesses. Changes in precipitation patterns are leading to more frequent and severe droughts in some regions, threatening water supplies and increasing the risk of food insecurity. Conversely, other regions are experiencing more intense rainfall and flooding, leading to displacement, damage to infrastructure, and the spread of waterborne diseases. The impacts of climate change on ecosystems can also have direct consequences for human livelihoods. For example, the decline of fish populations due to ocean warming and acidification threatens the livelihoods of millions of people who depend on fishing for their sustenance and income. Addressing climate change is not just about protecting the planet, it is about safeguarding human health, well-being, and the future of our communities. Section 6. The power of one individual actions for a healthier planet. While the scale of climate change may seem daunting, it is important to remember that individual actions, when multiplied across millions of people, can make a significant difference. By making conscious choices in our daily lives, we can reduce our carbon footprint and contribute to a healthier planet. One of the most impactful actions individuals can take is to reduce their reliance on fossil fuels. This can include opting for public transportation, cycling, or walking instead of driving alone, choosing energy-efficient appliances, and reducing air travel. Our diets, particularly our consumption of meat, also play a significant role in our environmental impact. By reducing our meat consumption and choosing plant-based options, we can reduce greenhouse gas emissions associated with livestock production. Simple actions like reducing waste, conserving water, and supporting businesses committed to sustainability can also make a difference. By making conscious choices in our daily lives, we can all contribute to a more sustainable future. Section 7. Communities in action collective efforts for a sustainable future. While individual actions are essential, addressing climate change requires collective action at the community level. By working together, communities can implement solutions that reduce their environmental impact and build resilience to the impacts of climate change. One powerful example of community-based climate action is the transition to renewable energy sources. By investing in solar, wind, and other renewable energy sources, communities can reduce their reliance on fossil fuels and create a more sustainable energy future. Community gardens and urban farms can play a role in promoting local food production, reducing food miles, and enhancing community resilience to climate change impacts on agriculture. These initiatives can also foster a sense of community and connection to the natural world. Community-led initiatives focused on restoring and protecting local ecosystems, such as tree planting campaigns and wetland restoration projects, can help sequester carbon, enhance biodiversity, and mitigate the impacts of climate change on local environments. Technological innovation plays a crucial role in developing and implementing solutions to address climate change. From renewable energy technologies to sustainable transportation systems, innovation is driving the transition to a more sustainable future. Advances in solar and wind energy technologies have made renewable energy more affordable and accessible than ever before. As these technologies continue to improve, they will play an increasingly important role in decarbonizing our energy systems. Electric vehicles, or EVs, are becoming more efficient and affordable, offering a cleaner alternative to gasoline-powered vehicles. The development of charging infrastructure and advancements in battery technology are further accelerating the adoption of EVs. Carbon capture and storage, or CCS, technologies have the potential to capture carbon dioxide emissions from industrial processes and power plants, preventing them from entering the atmosphere. While still in its early stages, CCS could play a significant role in reducing greenhouse gas emissions in the future. Addressing climate change effectively requires strong policies and governance at local, national, and international levels. Governments play a crucial role in creating the frameworks and incentives necessary to drive the transition to a low-carbon, climate-resilient future. Carbon pricing mechanisms, such as carbon taxes or cap-and-trade systems, can incentivize businesses and individuals to reduce their carbon emissions by putting a price on pollution. These mechanisms can generate revenue that can be invested in clean energy and climate adaptation measures. Investing in public transportation, cycling infrastructure, and other sustainable transportation options can reduce reliance on private vehicles, thereby decreasing greenhouse gas emissions from the transportation sector. International cooperation is essential to address climate change effectively. Agreements like the Paris Agreement provide a framework for global cooperation on climate action. setting targets for emissions reductions, and providing support for developing countries to transition to low-carbon economies. The scientific evidence is clear. Climate change is real, it is human-caused, and it is happening now. The longer we delay action, the more severe the consequences will be. The time for debate is over. The time for action is now. We are already witnessing the devastating impacts of climate change around the world, from extreme weather events to rising sea levels. These impacts will only intensify in the coming decades if we fail to act decisively. Delaying action will not make the problem go away. It will only make it more difficult and costly to solve in the future. The sooner we act, the more effectively we can mitigate the impacts of climate change and protect our planet for future generations. We have the knowledge, the technologies, and the resources to address this challenge. What we need now is the political will and the collective determination to act. The future of our planet is in our hands. We all have a role to play in addressing climate change, from individuals making conscious choices in their daily lives to governments implementing ambitious policies. It is a shared responsibility that requires collective action on an unprecedented scale. Let us embrace the challenge of climate change, not with fear, but with hope and determination. Let us work together to create a more sustainable and equitable future for all. Let us be the generation that turned the tide on climate change and secured a healthy planet for generations to come. The Earth is a remarkable planet, resilient yet fragile. It is the only home we know. Let us treat it with the respect and care it deserves. The time to act is now.